All right, welcome back to the Ask Mama podcast, where I let the internet ask my mama questions. This is episode 22, and I'm Melody Angel.
I'm Mama Stephanie.
And I'm Lamar.
And we're back for another episode.
Hey, y'all.
Hey!
We're doing what we can do.
That's right.
We're working through life, trying to come together to spread some positivity to the world, answer some questions, some good questions, and hopefully help somebody out there.
Right.
That's right.
So we're going to jump right into it and ask the first question on Ask Mama. Lamar, why don't you ask Mama something?
All right, Mama. I'm white, and I'm in an interracial marriage. I'm a white female. My husband's sister passed, and he said I didn't have to come to the funeral. But I insisted and showed up to the funeral last minute. When I came in, the family was in another room. When they came out, the family, along with the spouses, came in. I was the only spouse left out. I left after the service. What should I do? It doesn't sit well with me.
Well, I would ask him, first of all, why it seems like you didn't want me to come. And if that's the case, why not? She's trying to support her husband. I understand that. If it was reversed for me and I was in that situation but black and all the white people came in and left me, what a funeral. I'm just being honest. I probably wouldn't even wait till I got home. I know you're grieving, but blacks can't come. We don't grieve. So I would be very upset, I must say. Are you trying to hide me? I mean, everybody know we married, I believe, unless they don't. But I'd be upset about it. I think it wouldn't sit right with me, but I would definitely talk to him. Why did you not want me to go? And then when you knew I was there, why didn't you beckon me to come sit with the family? Aren't I family too? So that's my take.
Sometimes when a person gets married and there could be like a past girlfriend or a past boyfriend that the family really not, in this case, past girlfriend probably, that the family really likes.
Oh, Lord.
And she might have been in the house. She might have been in the building. And the family might not so much like the fact that he has married said woman for many different reasons. It might not be because she's white. It might be because they don't like your personality. Or maybe they feel like you might be controlling. I don't know. There might be a whole bunch. I don't know. I don't think that I would have necessarily showed up to the funeral. I would have asked why I couldn't come, because I'm sure that was a conversation that was had before the funeral even happened. So I don't know. I would say definitely to inquire. Like I said, it could be a past spouse that was there, or maybe the person who died didn't like you, or I don't know.
Wow.
Okay, so for me, it feels like she's leaving a whole bunch of stuff out. Because first of all, if he didn't want you to come, you're really trying to tell us there's no reason why that could possibly be. You know what family you have married into. Either they accepted you when you got married or they didn't. Either the sister accepted you or she didn't. Like, there is precedent before a funeral. I think it's very disrespectful to show up to a funeral you were not invited to, no matter what the reason was. If they decided not to invite you, and you still show up, that's disrespectful. And so what you should have done is talk to your husband and say, why can't I go, or what's the issue? And then, move from there. But you feeling some sort of way because I feel you're leaving some stuff out. Did these people like you? Did you like them? Like, what is really going on? I feel like a lot of times people say they were slighted or they were treated wrong by somebody else, especially when it's like two non-family members, like by blood, but have come together.
Right.
There's always this feeling like, oh, they don't like me or whatever. You know, a lot of the times that's by your own making of how you came in, or you're completely wrong about the whole situation.
Right.
So, you know, I just feel like there's a lot left out of this question. And I think that anybody in a marriage knows what they married into by now. Like, it was his sister who passed, and he didn't want you at the funeral. There is something wrong already.
Yep.
And you know what it is.
Oh, yeah.
And then you show up to the funeral anyway. And now you're saying you feel some sort of way about it. That's just disingenuous right there. I think there's some stuff left out. And I don't think you can give like real advice in that situation because we don't know the whole story. I feel like we do not have all of the cards.
And go ahead, Mama.
Well, he did say you didn't have to come. Isn't that what? You didn't have to come. Like, had he said, don't come, to me, that's different. But to give somebody oh, you don't have to come, like, if you got something else or you feel uncomfortable.
I mean, I think that's just work. We don't really know exact. That's what I'm saying. We don't know his exact words, and she didn't really explain whether or not she responded to that. You don't have to come, because she then says in the next sentence, I came last minute. So he obviously didn't think she was coming. And then last minute, like she said, she shows up. So it's just like, why not find out? If you really wanted to know what was going on, why not find out beforehand?
Right.
Instead of
I
making this
certainly
funeral about you.
Right. And see, that's probably a trend.
Yeah.
The disrespect.
Yeah.
And the self-centeredness.
Yeah, because this is a
probably
funeral.
Well, I
like, why
certainly
is this
would have
about you and your hurt feelings?
I would have asked
For
if
sure.
I were
Before.
Right.
married into a white family and my husband said you don't have to come. Or I know I don't have to, but I'm trying to support you. Now, do you want me to come or not? Now, if he said I don't want you coming, I wouldn't have went.
Yeah, but I think it's also strange to say, especially if you're married to someone and they tell you, and someone passes away in their family and they tell you, well, you don't have to come.
Yeah,
What?
for his sister. That's what I'm saying. Something is
Right.
missing
Yeah.
here.
Right.
Either you and the sister didn't have a good relationship, or you didn't have a good relationship with this family beforehand, and it seemed probably insincere for you to be
show
there.
up.
Yeah.
And so that's why I'm saying, check yourself. Are you sure you're not the problem? You know what I'm saying?
And I believe, if you didn't really get along with someone in life, it's disingenuous to me for you to attend their funeral.
Yeah.
I mean, what are you doing?
Right.
And why make the immediate family uncomfortable? If
what I'm
if
saying.
you didn't
Right.
get along with them, if you had a good relationship with that person or not. Because I wouldn't do it. I
No.
wouldn't go. If I didn't get along with you in life, I'm not showing up in death
Absolutely not.
and saying, I'm just not doing that. That's disingenuous to me. And it may make the family feel bad in their time of grief. And I just don't want to be a part of something like that.
But she did say, well, from what I gathered in this message, she did say that she didn't make herself known or seen at the funeral, though. She was kind of sneaking around and saw what was going on.
Yeah.
Wow.
But she didn't make
Sat in
herself
there
known.
And
So
then left
that
and then
tells
felt
you
some
more
sort of way.
about
it's just,
Yeah.
Yeah.
listen.
Girl,
I
go
don't-
sit down.
I'm not trying to do
And
this.
I'm not going to,
Right.
I'm not going to say it. But
But please do.
Uh-oh.
I mean, because now I want to know what you was going to say.
I
May
just-
as well.
I just, those female white tears, when they get upset, when they say their feelings are hurt, it's like the priority in the room.
Oh.
And that's, to me, is, you're not going about this well. you're talking about a black family that you have entered, and I'm not hearing a lot of respect. I'm hearing a lot of like, they're keeping me out and this, that. Why haven't you like moved forward to figure something out, to like get to know them better or reach out in a positive way, but to force yourself onto people in this way during a time of grief is very selfish. And you, once again, I just really think you need to check yourself. You're leaving some stuff out. And you need, and my point about that is you have to be honest about what you brought to this situation and what they brought. I'm not saying maybe they don't like you, you know, because you're white. Maybe that's it.
Could be.
But you knew that before you went to this funeral.
I wouldn't go.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, whatever the reason is, making this situation about you is just, that's some toxic stuff going on there. You need to look at this from the point of view as your husband lost his sister. And for whatever reason that you're not telling us, they didn't want you there. So you need to either work on that with your husband and his family.
Yeah, they need
or
to.
y'all might not, maybe y'all shouldn't be together.
They need to
because
fix whatever
that is very problematic. That your own husband didn't feel you should go to his sister's funeral.
I mean, to give you that ultimatum, you don't have to go.
Nobody says that.
Whoa, your sister-in-law?
Just don't.
Who
Man.
does
I
that?
mean, nobody says that.
I mean, I get if it was a friend or just his friend, they grew up together, you don't have to go to this. Okay,
It's weird.
I'm not going, but your sister.
Even that,
Yikes.
though, you know, a friend or someone close to you, you would want your spouse there for support.
Yeah, you
You
would
know?
think, or they would, but to,
like I
to
say.
give them a way out.
It's hard to give
It's-
advice if it's not the full picture. And for me, this one feels very problematic. There's a lot missing here. But, you know, hopefully you have the honest conversations that you need to have with your husband.
Right.
And we're going to move on to the next question. Okay. So very recently, there was a debate, a presidential debate between Trump and Biden. And Trump said that, I mean, he said a lot of lies. I think probably like 99% of everything he said was a lie.
Agreed.
But
gosh.
one of the most hilarious moments, I believe, was when he said Mexican immigrants are taking black jobs. What do you think about that statement he made in the debate?
My God.
What are black jobs?
Not black, not black jobs.
Black dog.
And I just want to say, I love all of the memes on TikTok
Yes.
showing Mexicans taking black jobs.
Not the
Yeah, I
black
just
job.
want to applaud all the Mexicans and all the black people that made these hilarious skits of running up on each other, pretending to take each other's jobs.
Right. You got my job.
But
Black
what,
job.
but what do you think about it, Mama?
Well, first of all, I think that's insane. Black jobs as opposed they're not taking whites, just black jobs, our jobs. So that would be
Well, obviously-
attorneys, lawyers. I mean, black people have.
He's talking about when Trump says black jobs, and referring to Mexicans and black people specifically. He's talking about menial jobs.
I know that's what he's talking about.
And I know you do, Mom. Make it a
Yes.
point. So he's talking about menial jobs because in his racist mind, that's all he thinks Mexicans and black people are qualified to do, even though he is surrounded by black lawyers and doctors, ex-presidents, ambassadors, engineers. The world is literally full of both Mexican and black professionals in every facet of the business world that he walks around in. But still, racism leads you to push out the narrative to your other followers that, hey, let's tell them that they're taking black jobs. That'll get them. The stupidity involved in that messaging just proves that everybody that is racist is a moron.
Right.
Well, he's, the black job, he's nuts.
Yeah.
And it's racism. That's it. It was funny. A lot of people, like you said, made jokes about it, but he just says the craziest things I've ever heard in my life come out of a grown person's mouth, especially running for the most prestigious office in the United States. Are you serious?
But when he's talking, he's not talking to us. He's not actually talking to black people, Mexican people. He's not talking to anyone except for the MAGA movement party, whatever they want to call themselves, the Trumpers, okay? That's who he's talking to every time he opens his mouth. He's not talking to us.
Yeah.
And so that's why I say he can sound so ridiculous, because it's exactly what these ignorant,
idiots, backwood
trailer trash group of individuals that think that all they gotta do is move us out the way and they'll be back on top.
This is what it is.
It's sick.
It's sick.
It's
But you are so
ridiculous.
right.
Without actually being qualified for jobs.
Right.
Without actually being educated enough to be qualified for jobs.
Right.
They want all of it back. They
Yeah.
want to be the doctors and lawyers and engineers and have us not be nowhere near anything. Even though they're not educated.
You gotta go
They're
to school.
not trained. Nothing. They just want it.
Well, see, in their mind, they feel like, well, the reason why the people of color, the black people, have it is because of affirmative action.
Right.
Okay.
That's the whole.
Definitely.
That's
the
a part
whole
of the
thing.
That's true.
The DEI thing. It's the
Right.
whole, and the premise of it. It's like this whole system in America is created for them. And even with this privileged system in place, there's a portion of white people that still struggle because of economics.
Right.
Just the reality.
Yes.
So the white people who have not suffered this economic plight get to spread to them, hey, the reason why you're down there is not because as a 1%er I don't pay any taxes. It's because this other poor black person is in your way.
Right.
And this other poor Mexican
Mexican.
person is coming into the country taking what's yours. This is why you're down there. Even though the reason they're down there is because of Trump and people like Trump.
him. Yeah.
And it's like, but that's and to us it seems asinine to believe. How could they be believing this? But this is what happens when you're uneducated.
Right.
And that's why a lot of the civil rights leaders, even from the past, were trying to talk to poor white people. Because they were trying to show them capitalism is the reason you ain't got nothing.
Exactly.
It's not me.
Exactly.
And
exactly.
if they had enough sense to vote their actual interest, it would not be Trump.
Well, see, it would not be. But his team has done such a great job with
They
dressing
have.
him up and making him look like Uncle Bo from Kentucky and making him visually relatable
Right.
to those types of people.
And making them think that they can be like him one day.
Right.
Even though he's a trust fund baby.
Exactly.
He puts the narrative
Right.
out there that he's this self-made man.
He
It's
is
his
not.
daddy's money.
Right.
And he lost most of it by going bankrupt like 7 or 8
He
times.
certainly
But
did.
that
'Cause he's an
is
idiot.
the power of talking to idiots.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
When idiots are your followers,
Exactly.
you don't have to make any sense.
No.
Well, and here's my take on
No.
the whole black jobs, Mexicans stealing black jobs. I totally believe that it was a ploy to try to create division and get the black vote. And that's what I want to talk to black people about. We need to go out and really exercise the right to vote every time we have an
Right.
election.
Right.
Because everybody else seems to understand and know the importance and the power of the black vote, except for a lot of black people. For some reason, I don't really understand that. So that's number one. I don't think it'll work. I don't think it will work. I think that but it definitely was a tool to try to play.
It was a tool, and he also wants to bring divide between the black and brown.
Right.
That's why he pit. They
Exactly.
taking y'all black jobs.
Exactly.
Because he wants us against each other, and if we're smart, black and brown will come together.
Exactly.
And then we could get a lot.
We could get a lot done.
I mean, I understand what you're saying. Of course, that's always in the back, but it already happened. Like, we're already divided.
Yeah.
We haven't been united ever. So I don't think,
It's
while I
unfortunate.
know that a part of the messaging was that, what you're saying,
Yeah.
it was a very small part, because it's already been done through having our quote unquote ghettos so segregated, and having us running around fighting for crumbs and doing all that. The whole system is still in place to divide not only blacks and Latinos, but blacks that are educated and blacks that are not.
Yes.
Blacks that have money and blacks that don't.
Yeah.
Right.
And Mexicans are the same way. Puerto Ricans, Dominicans, all of us in our little units
Divide.
are divided by the capitalistic system that we live under, where it is the white people that are at the top, and then the people of color are all separated at the bottom.
Fighting at the bottom.
Fighting at the bottom.
Yep.
And that is how the system is structured. So they don't have to convince us to be divided. We are, because we have fallen for the okie doke. We've fallen
Yeah.
into the trap of oppression. As a whole, there are still big chunks of us here and there that understand what's happening and are actively fighting against it. But for the most part, they don't have to do any work to divide us. We're already there.
Yeah.
And so their messaging is literally directed to poor white people, because that is how billionaires and millionaires, white people, right? White billionaires, white millionaires, since the beginning of time in this country, have gathered and controlled and kept their power. It is by convincing poor white people
That's right.
that it is the fault of the non-white people why they ain't got nothing.
And
That has been the story since the beginning of America.
Right.
If it wasn't for these Indians, and then if it wasn't for the Chinese when they put them in camps, the Japanese, and then
Yep.
if it wasn't for the blacks, if it's always somebody else. Now it's immigration. If it wasn't for our borders, you know, so it's always directed full force
Yep.
at poor white people.
Right.
They are the reason that this whole world, because they have been convinced that we're the problem.
right.
Well, I'll tell you something about poor white people, though, especially the women. You better beware, because they're gonna have. If Trump does get in office, you will be in a breeding camp somewhere having babies back to back, because they want to repopulate their race.
Yeah.
So I hope you vote wisely, poor white people.
Yeah, and it's They've got it set up as long as they feel like they have someone they're better than. That's what they're fighting for. We're better than you.
So
It's just nuts.
yeah, I mean, we're gonna move on to the next question. What you got for us, Lamar? What's the
Okay.
next one?
Jesus. Oh, okay. So we did the Trump and talking about the you did.
Oh, you know
yes.
what? Let me do one.
Yes.
Another one then.
Okay, go ahead.
Here's a different question.
Okay.
Before you get married, what should you be on the same page about to know you're ready for marriage?
I think you definitely, if you want kids or not, no kids, financially, both parties working, bringing something to the table, how you're going to raise religion, how you're going to raise your children, what religion both parties are. I think those are the things that really have to be talked about and on one accord. And even your families, because you're marrying into another person's family. So I think even that needs to be kind of on the same page. I believe. Some people feel like I'm just marrying you. I don't have to have a lot to do with the family. But I think to have a good union, family is important too. So I think all that needs to be talked about.
So for me, I would say, so number one, first of all, are you all going the same places? Where do you see your life in 5 years? Where do I see my life in 5 years or 10 years or however you might want to phrase that or word that. Also, what's our roles? What's my role? What's your role? How do we fit individually to make a unit, I would say. And then two, what's the terms and conditions of this union, of this relationship? When we sit down and we agree on what it is that we're going to do and how we're going to be in our relationship, monogamy, are we going to be faithful to one another, committed to one another? And what does that mean for each one of us? Because for me, I would say, especially if you are a more feminine energy person, in today's time, you don't need a man to financially take care of you, right? You can do it on your own. So if that's the case, if we have sat down and we've talked about this is what the terms of this relationship, we will be monogamous, we will do all those things, and it's just going to be you and I in this relationship and no outside entities. And then I find out as a feminine energy person that has been breached. To me, in my mind, you're not a man of your word. You're a liar. You're a manipulator. Because 9 times out of 10, my intuition has told me what you're doing, and it never fails me. So then you're manipulating me into thinking I'm crazy. You're lying because you're not telling me the truth. You're not a man of your word because we sat down and we agreed this, and you don't have the discipline and the smarts to not put yourself in certain situations, because we know men are visual creatures, blah, 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 blah. So if that's the case, how do you expect for me to take the passenger seat and allow for you to take the driver's seat and lead when you don't even have the discipline to do so or the wherewithal to make smart decisions? So that's what I would say.
Yeah, I think that something that I would do, I've thought about it, just what would I need to feel like I could marry this person. And I think that, of course, everything y'all are saying is good. It does come down to having honest conversations. But for me, I would want to hear from him what he imagines our marriage looking like. Like to verbally say, like, day one, we do we buy a house? Do you see us in an apartment? What state are we living in? What city? How many kids do we have? What kind of school do they go to? Like, describe our life.
Yes.
And then I would describe our life. And if we're in agreement, because that me describing my life that's a dream. That's my dream. And I think if you can get your partner to tell you what his or her dream is, then you will really know if y'all connect in a way that could last forever, which is what marriage is supposed to be. If he says, I want both our families to be super close. I want to spend holidays with each other. I want our kids to go to public school. I want to live in the suburbs. I want to live in a house. I want us both to travel as a family and just you and me sometimes. I want this. I want that. He's speaking my language. If he's saying these things to me, then I know this is right because that's exactly what I want to. You know what I'm saying? So I think that you need to dream aloud to your partner and have them dream aloud. And if y'all's dream is the same, get married. Because that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking to dream out loud.
That's it.
What I want. And have that be exactly what he wants to. And then, of course, it still takes work to get all of those dreams, but at least you have the same dream. And that's to me is what it's all about.
Because you all, if you're going the same place and you have the same mindset and same desires, okay, you might not go from 0 to 100 right away.
Right.
But at least we're working toward the same thing, and it helps us. Before you know it, you'll be there.
And you're a team.
Right.
And you got to be honest. If you're honest, I think the problem comes in people are not honest just about simply who they are. They pretend, and, once you get in the meat of the relationship, I didn't know you were like, all these. But if you could just be honest. Because a person, if you live together, you're going to find out who this person really is. So if you can skip that and just be honest and be who you are with each other, I think you'll have a way smoother chance of making it. I think the odds of you making it really goes up.
And I would also like to add to that, too, if, talking about where you are going to go, making sure that you're going to the same place, but also, do you think that it is possible for us to get there? Because you can have this dream, but if you think it's unreachable for you, then it's not going to happen. And that's, I think, what I've ran into a lot in my personal experiences, just in relationships, of, okay, yes, because I would always say in when I get to know a person, in a perfect world, if you could have your life, and what would be the life that you would want in a perfect world? And they would spill it out, and I'd be like, okay, that's not that bad. But as I get a chance to get to know them, although you want these things, you don't think those things are tangible for you. So then you become stagnant, and now I got to pull you, and that's not gonna work either. Right. So I think somebody who has some follow through, as well,
for sure,
show me. That, because you could talk a good game. Ooh.
That's right.
But what are you, because see, I'll tell you all this. I was dating someone, and they were telling me all the things that they were going to do. And in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, you're supposed to be the leader. I'm going to sit back and watch. Because although you might not be able to, like I said, to go from 0 to 100 and make it happen overnight, what are you doing right now to move in that direction?
Right.
Yeah.
I didn't see anything. You still got the same habits.
But that's what dating is for. I think for me, dating is to see what you're really about, because time will tell too.
Sure
Like
will.
it's only so long you can pretend that you can play up this facade if it's a facade.
Right.
And
right.
that's why people need to take their time when they're dating to really examine the person and watch them. Every day you're with them, you're going to see little things and you're going to notice things. And the more time you're around somebody, the more you know. The more you know about their family, their friends, how they interact with different people in their lives. All of those things are what you're supposed to be gauging. And also what you're talking about, their follow through. Whether, I had to break off a relationship because of a lack of ambition on his part, because I am very ambitious. I'm just naturally a go-getter. I work really hard. I can't be with somebody who is not that way. I've registered that about myself. Some people don't mind being with somebody that doesn't want to do anything with their life.
Right.
I can't be with somebody like that. And it doesn't matter. It doesn't mean that, he has to want to be something like a doctor or it's not about that. It's about if you want to be the manager of a Walmart, and that's your goal, then have a goal. I need you to have something you want to do and accomplish and move forward in that, because that's what I'm doing with my life.
Right.
And I don't want to feel guilty for putting the energy and time it takes for me to get the things I want ambitiously. And you're sitting at home wanting nothing from life.
But if they don't want anything from life, it's unfair to force that.
That's why the relationship
Let
ended.
him
My
go.
point is,
Because
you have to be honest about
That's right.
your lack of
That's
ambition.
right.
Once you see that in somebody and you know that's not what you want, leave.
then let them go.
I'm just about to
Stop
just
trying
get
to
a
make
Holy Ghost.
people into what you want them to be.
because
Yeah.
You
that's not
can't.
fair.
How many times have
Can't do
have
it.
you
not
seen
fair.
on any of
Can't
these
do it.
shows that countless shows talk about you can't change anybody.
That's
Right.
You
right.
can't.
No.
It's not just something to be said.
Cannot.
It's not something to just toss in any kind of relationship show. The reason why all of these shows say it is because it is the most valid part that you need to understand when you're in a relationship.
That
If
part.
you thought that, after we get married, then I'll change him or
Right.
then I'll change her, you are out of your mind. That person is not going to change.
And some people think if you really want to be with me, you'll change. And that person may change, quote unquote, go through the motions of change, but it's not real.
It's not right.
See, so because you really cannot make them do it.
That's
And
just
it's
the
gonna
reality.
build
You're not.
resentment
It-
initially.
absolutely,
That's the
because
reality.
you force me. They're going to feel forced because they wanted to be with you, and so they became what they thought you
Wanted them to be.
wanted them to be, and they did it, and now you see that's not them.
Another part of it is that people, it's so easy to kind of accept things when they have some of the things that you want. Because you're so like, man, am I really going to find the person that checks all of my boxes?
Yeah.
He checks like one or two of them. That ain't bad. Out of 5 things I want, he checks 2. Maybe I can work with this, and maybe, you start making these excuses. Now, that's up to you. You want to be with somebody that you
Right.
halfway love, go
Well,
ahead.
I don't know
But
about the halfway love
that's
part.
not that people do it all the time.
Yeah, that's not
People
good.
do it all the time,
Yeah,
and
I've
that's
done it.
where all the cheating comes in, and all of the other stuff, because you're unsatisfied with your
Yeah.
partner.
Well, to
so
have-
what I'm saying
that's not gonna work.
is that you can have that, but it's not real, and it's never gonna be what you really wanted.
Right.
Everybody thinks that having a checklist or things that you desire is like some kind of bad thing. It is not. If your list is 200 pages long, yeah, that's a bad thing. You need to sit down somewhere. But if you have 3 or 5 basic things that you want in a partner, that is not a negative thing. That means that you have looked within yourself, you have been honest with yourself, and you have said, these are the things I can't do without in a relationship.
I think if they're reasonable things, that's...
Finna start throwing stuff. Y'all better say
if
this.
it's reasonable, I say keep your list.
Yeah.
But if it's something that's not
I just said,
reasonable,
obviously, if
I
it's,
think you can, it's nothing wrong with saying, well, I can deal with this.
you have to be
but
mature.
it really
Right.
depends on what that thing is.
And don't the Bible say something about writing it down? Write it down, and it's something. I don't know the exact.
Well, you write your vision down. That's in the Bible.
Yeah. There you go. Write your vision of your partner down.
I think you could use that for that.
Yeah.
You could write your vision and what you want. I think
But
all
we're
that
not
is fine.
I'm not speaking on this isn't like superficial thing like he got to be 6'4".
Yeah. No,
We're
no.
not
Not that.
talking about that. I'm talking about what I just said, which
Yeah.
was somebody that's ambitious, somebody that loves their family and wants to be close
that's
to my
reasonable to
these
me.
types of things. Somebody that's spiritual. These are things that I can't do without in a relationship.
I think that's reasonable.
It's a mature concept. We're not talking about immature people that's out here dating and got frivolous lists. We're talking about adults that are looking to be married or in a serious relationship. You know what you need. So just be very honest with yourself in the moment and understand if that person only checks one box off, that's not going to work.
No.
You just prolonging the inevitable, which is the end of that relationship, and that waste of time
You could
is
have
going
been
to
with somebody
affect you.
else.
Yeah.
It affects you when you stay with the wrong person too long.
Yeah.
I agree.
People get really messed
tear
up
you
in
up.
those relationships. Stop staying with people that
Too long.
don't benefit you.
And please don't get married just to check off the I'm married box.
Yeah, well,
'Cause
that
that's-
happens a lot.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. It's about maturity, and it's also about acceptance. Accept that maybe you might not get married.
Yeah. Be
I mean,
reasonable
be-
with yourself.
Be okay with yourself.
Yeah. And that's why I was saying be reasonable. Because a lot of people, not only do they have ridiculous lists, but they just want to be married and they take anything. And so it's you just got to be reasonable with yourself and honest with yourself.
So let's move on to the last question.
Not really. Yeah.
This is what do you think about the portion of Democrats, both politicians and citizens, that want Biden to not run for re-election? Mama?
I think, first of all, it's too late for that. That ship has sailed. And what I think the root of that is, I personally believe that they're just afraid that if something does happen to Biden, if he wins this election and something happens to him, or he decides after a year, I can no longer fulfill my duties, I believe they're afraid that Kamala is going to be the president of the United States. And I think that scares even some Democrats, because even some Democrats are racist. I'm sorry. It's just the truth.
Yeah.
And that is what I believe, because this man knows he's old. So what? He had a bad debate the other. So what? That does not mean that, I shouldn't run. He's old. He already knows that.
So is Trump. They're
Trump,
3 years
they're
apart.
about 3 years apart,
So,
and
it's insane.
Biden is still president right now today. So that means he's running the country. So if he's running the country today, What's going to happen in 5-6 months from now?
Right.
He'll still be running the country, but I think the fear and the outcrying of they don't want Kamala.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I believe.
Lamar?
I hadn't thought about that. I would say that it is not a smart move to show division, because division shows weakness. And one thing that the Republican Party is very good at doing is being in solidarity with one another. It
certainly
shows
is.
strength. Even those those politicians who 4 years ago bashed Trump, baby, they talked about him like a dog.
They
We're talking about
certainly
the Republicans
did.
are now like, hey, I'm with you. They would never broadcast any division or ill will or malice or anything
Absolutely.
towards Donald Trump, their president.
That's
right.
right.
So I think that it almost makes me feel like, because the citizens, we have a certain mindset, but we all know that all this politics and all, they're a whole bunch of liars. Okay, let's just be honest. They're liars. They say whatever they're gonna want, whatever they think that the citizens want to hear in order to get elected and then to be reelected. Right.
That's right.
And it almost made me feel like, wow, you know what? Maybe some of the Democrats want Trump to win. Because if people were doubting the Democratic Party before, they definitely doubting them now.
Yeah, well.
So I don't know. That's a way to look at it, but it doesn't sit well with me at all. If you're gonna call him to be removed off of the ticket and have someone else be put on, which I don't know who would, except for maybe Bernie Sanders might win, but
it's
too
too
late for that.
No.
Do it in private. Don't broadcast it.
So here's the thing. On one end, you have, we'll call them Democrat. We'll call everybody Democrats, but liberal citizens, liberal politicians. I am really done with all of the complaining without any solutions. And this situation of the media, liberal media, talking about, seconds after the debate, I watched these people on MSNBC one by one, every anchor talk all this crap about Biden and he's so old and I don't think he should run, and we're talking to politicians and they're saying off the record he shouldn't run and maybe we need to get somebody else. So for me, it's all of these complaints, not to mention, and I will say, the citizens who are talking about, he hasn't done enough in the Gaza situation and all of these things. Not that they're not valid complaints on Biden's presidency. I will be the first to say I am very underwhelmed by what he has not done in Gaza. I am very underwhelmed by him not doing what he said he was going to do as far as these racist police go in America. Instead of helping black people fight a war against these crazy police officers that find it very much enjoyable to kill us at will, you give them billions of dollars more that goes towards them, their union, and their continued power over our black communities. I am beyond disgusted about those things. However, I am an adult person who has to think about the innocent black children that I will leave this world with. My niece and nephew, my cousins, and all of your children. The future is on the line here. We're either going to push forward with what we have and try to build on this and push for solutions, but I'm done with the complaining. You want to complain, that's fine, but what are your solutions? You want to get rid of Biden, but you didn't cultivate someone you would have voted for.
No.
You didn't cultivate somebody that you could push in an election. So you don't get to complain and say, oh, we can't go with him and I'm not voting for him, when there's no one else to vote for except a known racist who wants to literally make America great again by taking every right fought and died for by black people in this country away again. That's what it means. And so if you're out here complaining about Biden and you didn't cultivate someone you would have voted for, when 4 years ago, there was like 1 million people running for president on the Democratic side, but nobody gathered around one person except for Biden.
Did not.
So now you knew he was old then.
Yeah.
This man was old then, and y'all wanted him to be the leader of the Democratic Party, and it worked. We beat Trump, and now here we are again in this same situation, and all I hear is complaints without solutions. Tell me this, you don't want to vote for Biden because of Gaza. Do you understand the situation America is in? Do you understand NATO? Because it doesn't seem like you do.
No.
Because NATO, which we're a part of, which I've been a part of since World War II, means that if one of us is hit, we're all hit.
That's right.
That means, as an example, 9/11 happened, and all of these other countries came to our aid
they did.
our fight because terrorists hit us. So then the Hamas, which are a group of terrorists, hit Israel, and so NATO had to come into effect. We can't pick and choose. But you know what we could do if we galvanized? We could get Israel out of NATO. That's something that we can actually work on and do and push for. That's a solution. The solution is not to get Biden out of here and vote for Trump.
That's insane.
Who literally, Trump, on the other hand, said Israel needs to finish the job.
And he would help them do it.
And you know what? We have the bombs that could do it, but Biden won't give them the bombs that could do it.
That's right.
So, no, I don't like what Biden is doing. But I know that Trump would do worse.
Way worse.
And while I'm going to vote for Biden, because that's the responsible thing to do, don't you dare think that it stops there just with the vote.
Right.
The vote is only one piece.
Right.
The next part is working on the solutions. Cultivate somebody that you believe in to run for president next time.
Right.
That's how this works.
That's right.
I am tired of the complaining. All I see on TikTok, Instagram is just, I'm complaining about this, I'm complaining about that. Everybody, where are the solutions? Don't talk to me no more about Biden and what he ain't doing, and you don't have no solutions. It's so pathetic.
Too late.
It's such a waste of our time and energy, and I am completely disgusted with the media. Because they are pushing this narrative, instead of pushing the fact that Trump lied on everything in that debate. All the media has been talking about is Biden looked old. He looked old because he is old.
Both of them look old.
They're both old.
They really do.
They both could drop dead tomorrow.
Yeah.
But they're scared of that. That's what the problem is.
And but the issue is, if you want to change something, then you have to put forth the work. And it's not no overnight thing. You can't just wake up at it's like 2 minutes left in the quarter, and
Right.
you talking about we need new players.
We got to
Right.
get another quarterback.
Right.
We can't do
Right.
that.
Right.
Can't bring a new quarterback
No.
in
And
like
that,
that.
just shows how uneducated you are to even
Ridiculous.
think that, and to see all these so-called educated people on television every day
They're the
talking
ones
like this.
pushing it. Right.
It's just like, what is wrong? For me, I know that the media knows better, but I also know that this is all about clicks.
Yes,
Who
and
owns it?
ratings.
This
That's
is
right.
all about
That's
whoever's
right.
paying for the commercials.
There you
They
go.
want more eyes on this. So the media, y'all have the media used to be for the people.
They really were.
You
That's
used
over.
to be the ones we could depend on to tell
Forget
us
it.
the truth.
Cannot.
That's right. No.
And that is all over. The whole fake news movement that Trump brought in, it won.
It
That's
sure
what he
did.
won.
Yeah.
He sure did
He
win
bought
that.
and sold y'all. And now you're untrustworthy. Every last one of y'all.
Can't
All
trust
y'all do is push the most negative narrative you possibly can to get as many eyes on your product as humanly possible,
Right.
to the detriment of this country.
Right. To your own country.
You are supposed to be educating the public on what is going on in our country. And instead, you're using it like we on a doggone reality show.
Yeah.
Right.
And y'all are the producers
Yes.
pulling the strings.
Yes.
It's disgusting.
Yeah.
It really is
Yeah.
disgusting.
I know that was a lie, but I am
No.
done, y'all. We are at the gates of hell
We
here.
certainly are.
And y'all ain't think about your children.
And then they got that Project 25.
Oh
It's
my
just
God.
that.
It's unbelievable
and for
what's in
that,
that.
Project 2025 has had many names. It's been going on since 1973.
And you know what
The
Trump said?
Heritage Foundation. Look it up, okay? Because these people in this country
It's the
have been
Heritage
working
Foundation.
on taking back every right that we have died for.
Right.
Right back. Every amendment of the Constitution. They want
Right.
it back.
And Trump said he didn't know anything about it. I don't know anything about that, even though he's taking pictures with the guy.
No, even though he's taking millions from
doesn't-
these people.
I don't know anything
They're
about
backing his campaign.
it. Certainly are.
The Heritage Foundation.
They certainly
Project
are.
2025.
But he lies to that extent and
And
says,
all y'all want
I
to
don't
do,
know
and when
about
I
it.
say y'all, I mean black people, you want to sit up here and complain about Biden
Right.
looking
Yeah.
old.
Yeah.
Who cares?
We are under attack. We're
right.
at war. And y'all ain't even geared up for battle.
Right.
Ain't nobody ready to go. And
it's-
they've been ready.
Yeah.
It's not even a lot. We're not even voting.
Yeah.
Something that simple.
And there's a portion of us not voting, and then there's a portion of us that refuse to vote for Biden. So
Right.
don't forget
Yeah.
that. And
Yeah.
then there's this small
Awful.
portion of us, like me, who have some common sense that are going to do the right thing. And all we can hope to God for is that there's enough of us with some sense
Yes.
that will just get us through this election. Because guess what? Once Biden wins the election, he can't run for office anymore.
Right.
So that's going to force you to cultivate someone you can
Somebody.
get behind, that you believe in, so we can
right.
cut all this mess out.
Right. And they can be younger.
Yeah.
Won't have to worry about
Whoever
somebody
you want.
older.
That's the greatness of democracy.
Right.
But if you let Trump in, he wants to be a dictator. And
Certainly
he
is.
has spared no qualms about speaking on it.
Right.
He freely talks about how great it is. This man talks about Hitler like he was somebody that was great.
Right.
And you think that letting Trump win ain't gonna be that big a deal.
Right. And he'll go in and save the Ghazians. Are you serious?
I feel so
It's insane.
I feel so disappointed. I
It
think
is.
that's like the main thing. Or I feel this overwhelming sense of disappointment
Yeah.
because we have disregarded as a whole. I have to put us all in it because we're unified by our blackness.
We're all
Yeah.
in it.
And we have disappointed the people that they gave their lives for
They
us.
did.
You understand? They went through pain that we can only watch on reenactments in movies.
And we don't even want to do that because that hurts too
They
bad.
sacrificed everything.
They did.
And you can't be bothered to vote. You can't be bothered to learn about civics.
Right.
You can't be bothered to make sure that you're putting money in your own people's pockets by venturing out to their black-owned businesses.
Right.
You can't be bothered to go to a parent-teacher conference to make sure your kids is learning what they need to learn to survive. You can't be bothered to come together and make sure that your neighborhoods are cleaned up. You can't be bothered to not forgive these youths for throwing their lives away to gangsters because you won't look at them twice. You can't be bothered to be a mentor to some kids after school. You can't be bothered to be the basketball coach or the football coach or the soccer coach so that you can give some positivity to these young people out there. Because you can't be bothered, we are going to get run over. And if you don't wake up, this is what it means to be woke.
It sure is.
What it
It's
means
the
to
real
be
definition.
woke is to carry the grief and the pain of the slaves with you everywhere you go, knowing that you have to survive and you have to succeed. That is what it means to be woke, and never to forget it, and never to allow people to get away with saying you are less than or your people are less than. I'm done.
Yeah.
And we need to be done with this part of our history where we just keep going around and around believing this lie of oppression. You are black. You are the first people on earth. It ends and begins with the black woman. We started humanity. Get it through your head. That's what it means to be woke. We are going to lose if we don't wake up.
Well, we certainly are. If we don't wake up, you got to vote. We got to vote. Educate yourself. Everything's on Google. You don't even have to sit in a class now.
For free.
Learn about how the government works. It's our responsibility.
We're going to move on. That was our questions for this week, y'all. And, you know, it's a lot, but shoot, I don't care. I don't care no more. This is outrageous what's going on out here. We're going to move on to the Black-owned spotlight. We spotlight Black-owned businesses because of the simple fact that economic power has always evaded Black people as a community, and it starts with us. We have to venture out. We're going to spend the money anyway, so spend your Black dollars at Black-owned businesses first, and then you can go wherever else, right? So my Black-owned business is called Curly Kids. It's a hair care company. They do hair care, shampoos, conditioners, and styling products, and they're available on their website, curlykidshaircare.com. They're also available in Targets all throughout the U.S., and they're also in stores in Canada, Europe, and Africa. So make sure that, you know, for all of you who have beautiful Black babies, get them some Curly Kid products for their natural hair. Mama?
My Black-owned business is called Cherry Mountain Arts. It's at 400 South Green. They have artwork. They've got T-shirts, a lot of cute little items that are just beautifully made. You know how colorful and creative we are as a people. It's a beautiful little place. And again, it's 400 South Green.
All right.
All right.
My business is Ebony Barbershop. It is at 1702 Dodge Avenue in Evanston, Illinois. It was the first African-American barbershop in the city, founded in 1962.
Oh,
wow.
And it is still up and running by the founder's daughter.
Oh, that's awesome.
Wow, that's great. All right, that's the Black-owned Spotlight.
That's awesome.
And if you have a Black-owned business or you know about a Black-owned business, please put it in the comment section down below, and let's just spread this information as far and wide as we can. And now we're going to move on to recommendations. We're going to start off with TV or movie. And for me this week, it's a show on Netflix called Supercell. It is by far one of the best shows I've watched in 2024.
The best.
I'm freaking obsessed. I'm so upset that there's only 6 episodes. As a matter of fact, I have half of the last episode to go, and I've stopped watching it because I just don't want it to end yet. So I'm probably gonna watch it in the next day or two. But man, I love every minute of it. The cast is great. It's an all-black cast.
Ooh, it's
This
good.
this. I think I was sitting there it took me a minute to realize, man, this is an all-black cast.
Wow.
And they're so good. I think these young actors are just really blowing me away. They're I think they're all the show is filmed in the United Kingdom, so they're all black people from London or around that region in Europe. And I just love their accents and their slang and how much they're like us anyway.
So much like us.
I mean, black is just universal. No matter where we find ourselves,
It certainly
our
is.
culture exists everywhere. And it's really good to see, and I just love it. So
It's
be
beautiful.
sure to check it out if you haven't already. It's like the #1 show on Netflix right now because it's just that dope.
Yes.
So
I can even watch it.
I told Mama about it, and at first she was like, "I don't know about this," but now she's hooked too.
Did.
So, Mama, what's your show?
My show is also on Netflix. It's called Savage Beauty. Anybody ever seen that?
I haven't seen it, but I've seen the thumbnail for it.
Okay.
It's
Is it a movie
I think
or
it's
what is
from,
it?
I think these actors
Or is it
are
a TV show or a
Africans.
movie?
It's a show.
A TV. Okay, it's
Like
a show.
it's got seasons.
Okay, it's a show.
So, it's something else though. But I tell you what, that when you've got vengeance like this, it does not pay. Let God do it.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
So it's about vengeance.
It's just so much going on. It's savage. It's a lot going on, but
Okay.
I'm enjoying it.
Okay, Lamar.
All right. My show, you all, is Tell Them You Love Me, also on Netflix.
Oh.
It is a documentary, and when I tell you, it is a roller coaster ride.
Okay.
Both of y'all need to see it.
Okay.
Tell
What's
them-
it called again?
Tell Them You Love Me.
Okay,
putting
I'm
that
gonna
in
my
watch it.
notes.
I'm gonna watch it.
Oh yeah, it's not what you think.
Okay.
Wow.
Them Netflix documentaries though.
Baby.
They
They
are
be
really
taking
Don't-
you. I'm
don't
like,
they?
wait a minute.
Don't they?
Ooh.
Baby.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch that.
Watch
Netflix
it.
is doing
Okay.
something, baby.
Watch
They
it.
they doing it right now.
Yeah. Just make sure that you lock yourself in the house because you're gonna be ready to hit the streets.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh,
You're gonna be
okay.
ready. You're gonna be kind of upset.
Okay.
Oh, Lord.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's do books. My book is called Freedom is a Constant Struggle by Angela Davis.
Oh, my.
It's outstanding, of course. Everything that Angela has written is required reading in my mind. But she talks about Ferguson, the marches and the things that went on in Ferguson. She talks about Palestine. She talks about also the foundations of a movement. And she would be the one to speak on this because she worked in the civil rights movement the entire way. Even when the FBI was after her for trumped up charges that didn't exist and all of those things. So she's laying it all out there, giving you the information. And that's what I mean when I say it's all out there for us to gather this information, come together and strategize. These people who worked in a real movement and got stuff done. They didn't get everything done, but they got stuff done.
They did.
We, on the other hand, haven't gotten anything done. So only thing we've managed to do is get things taken away. Okay? Roe v. Wade. You understand?
Lord have mercy.
So I think that means we need to go back to the books and re-educate ourselves on what worked before and try to build from that. And Angela is somebody that you can definitely gain a lot of knowledge from. So once again, the book is called Freedom is a Constant Struggle. And it is.
It
certainly is.
We dropped the ball and we need to pick it up
did.
again.
We do.
My generation especially, for sure.
Mama, what's your book?
My book is called Unstoppable by Cynthia Kersey.
Okay.
It's 45 stories of perseverance and some great quotes by well-known people. One of the quotes is, "Let's keep growing until we go."
Wow.
Which I think is fantastic. That means we never stop learning
Yeah.
and growing, which I am a avid believer of.
Right. All right.
So my book is A Year of Living Thankfully by Lois Blythe. And it is a week-by-week workbook to help you embrace gratitude and discover a healthy, happier you.
That's
Okay.
wonderful.
So there's
Yeah.
little journal entries in it. You can do little journal entries. It's a week-by-week. So 52 weeks of just gratitude and just being thankful
Oh,
for the
that's
things that you
wonderful.
do have and just being happier.
Now, that's a
Yes.
wonderful
Yeah.
way to live.
That is.
Beautiful.
All right. So now we're going to do music. Mama, let's start with you. What's yours?
I listened to Aretha Franklin, bless her heart,
Oh.
who was she did a lot for the movement.
She certainly
that
did.
people have no idea.
I'm sorry, I said that real
Jesus
tough.
Christ.
I love a musician that also speaks on what is going
That's
on
right.
in the world and doesn't shy away from that responsibility.
Yeah.
I'm talking to all y'all out there that's on
Yeah.
the Billboard charts that say absolutely nothing.
Sure.
Oh, well, she was not that. She did a lot of work behind the scenes
Certainly.
with the movement.
Certainly.
But I've been listening to You Make Me Feel Like a Natural Woman.
Yes,
All
baby.
right.
The one and only
That's right.
Aretha Franklin.
Jane.
A lot of people do her song, but really can't
Nobody
nobody
does.
do this like Aretha. I'm sorry.
No.
A lot of.
I almost said something.
Uh-oh. We ain't gonna call
I
nobody.
ain't gonna call nobody.
No,
Y'all
no,
don't
no.
do that.
They do
We ain't
good
gonna do it.
jobs.
That'd have been mean.
But
Everybody
baby,
do what they do.
that's
but you
Aretha's
can't
song
do
right
it.
there.
Yeah. I mean, it's like Whitney. that
Oh,
when
no.
people try to,
Yes.
Why?
it's like don't
For
do
what?
it. I mean, you sound good and everything, but
I have heard some good, but Whitney had something special in here.
That's what
that-
I'm saying. It's just
It
you
was-
can't.
she felt it.
You can't touch it.
She was
Woo!
anointed.
And it's all right that you can't touch it.
It's her gift.
It's all right,
It's her
yeah.
individual gift
Yeah,
that
but,
God gave her that.
That's right.
It's all right.
So it can't be duplicated because he did it.
That's right.
So leave it be.
That's right.
Amen.
Leave it be.
Amen.
All right, Lamar, what's your song?
My
or
song, my music, or my song
Okay.
is Gladys Knight and the Pips.
Ooh.
Your number one
You're number one
in my book.
in my book.
Yes.
Come on,
Oh,
Gladys.
wow.
She sang the wheels off that thing.
Gladys.
You know
I don't
that
know if I
song?
know that song.
Ooh,
You're number one.
Yes.
Hey. In
Oh,
my
bless her
book.
heart.
Maybe I know.
Baby Gladys sings that.
Don't she sing that?
You're number one.
You're number one. Oh yeah.
Hey.
Yes. Oh,
Gladys.
baby, you got to hear that.
Oh,
She
yeah,
sang,
it is.
and Gladys had to be about 40 or something. When
She may have been 72. It don't even matter. Because, baby, when I tell you Gladys, baby,
sang that thing from
her
the rooter to the
voice,
tutor.
I see now,
I mean,
will
yeah.
never leave
It's
her.
never
No.
gonna leave her. she got it. She got
Because she
it.
sits up there, she sung. I saw her somewhere not too long ago. Neither one of us,
Same.
baby. And I mean, she sang that and tears welled up.
Wow.
I said, now this baby done sung Neither One of Us probably
85,000 times.
1.2
Yeah, but
million.
but as you get older, she's lost a lot of people.
But
So when you
baby.
sing a song like that,
Ooh, she sang. I said it
1.2
still
billion.
touch her. 1.2 million
Still-
times, baby. Yes, Lord.
It's the point two for me.
my God.
What was she singing?
Neither one of us
Oh.
wants to be the first to say goodbye. Ooh.
Ooh, but let me tell you, Gladys look good.
Well, we
Yeah.
talked
Yeah,
about
we
that.
Yeah.
Gladys
Okay,
do.
so the next song is,
Yes, Lord.
or
Your song.
my song.
She do though.
Yeah, my song is Mint Condition.
Uh-oh.
What kind of man would I be?
Oh man,
Stokely?
Man, Stokely is a
What kind of man would I be?
Yes,
If I lived unfaithfully.
yes, God,
Yes.
And what kind of girl would you be?
yes, mama.
If you did the same.
Well, I wouldn't do it, Stokely.
I mean, it's just, every word of it is just,
Stokely something else.
the guitar
Ain't he?
solo in it.
He's
underrated.
I remember hearing the guitar solo when I was a little girl. And I was like, oh. Because I was so obsessed, even as a very
That's
small.
a cold boy, girl.
I've loved that song, like, before I even knew what the words meant or what the song was about. It's just so beautiful. I think
It
it's
is.
my favorite Mint Condition song, and
Oh,
that
wow.
guitar solo in it is just.
I can
it's
hear
still
that right now. That
makes me wanna say, oh,
Hey,
Come on,
Yes.
Stokely.
I mean, come on now.
Stokely sang that.
Stokely
sang
sang.
everything.
He is
And to think,
he-
one of the greats.
to think that boy was just a drummer.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
He stumbled upon singing.
Listen.
I said, "Is you crazy?"
Okay.
Oh, he can sing. Girl,
He's one of the
his
greats.
band.
And Mint Condition is a band, like I'm
Yeah.
saying.
Oh, please.
Like,
Nobody.
a lot is made up. A lot of people say, like, they
Baby.
bring up the roots all the time. But I'm like, yo,
Baby.
Mint Condition.
I
If you want
saw
to talk about an
them.
era,
Yeah.
Mint Condition's the best band of this era.
I saw them live.
Of like that
I was
90s,
like,
that 90s era,
Yeah.
early 2000s. That band, I'm sorry.
Bad, baby.
man,
Every single human being in that band
Mm-hmm.
is a
Them-
marvel
them Negroes
of musicianship.
Oh my God!
They take you back to like the Earth, Wind and Fire.
Yeah, they real.
They're
Yeah.
that kind of band.
Yeah.
James Brown and them.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
I don't-
where
I don't
everybody was flawless.
I don't think
Oh,
people know
Well,
about
they
Mint
really don't
Condition
get it
like this.
because
No, they
because the value of live performance has
baby.
gone. A lot.
It's on a track now.
First of all, have you seen all of the memes of the BET Awards when
I
Sexy Red came out?
No.
And everybody was like-
oh my God.
Her performance is so bad.
Is it?
She's not talented.
Oh,
There's no
man.
talent there. So when you're
A catchy
standing on
beat.
stage
Oh,
and you have absolutely no talent, this is what it looks like. And a lot of, and I don't say that like
that's
I don't think I've
unfortunate.
ever really said that, but this clip that is circulating, that's gone viral, and everybody's like, this is when I knew, like a lot of music people are like on these different shows and stuff saying, man, music it really woke a lot of people up in that sense of like, where's all the performers at? Because when awards time come around,
Yeah.
that's when you really realize what's lacking
Right.
here.
Oh, I didn't. That's
With-
not
Because
fortunate.
now
Everything's live,
they're on the
baby.
stage,
Uh-huh.
and even if they're not really singing, even if it's a track, doing most of the work, they can't perform.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like even the early 2000s, you'd have like the teeny boppers and the pop stars and stuff, and maybe they wasn't singing live, maybe they were,
At least they had the
to
choreography.
dance. They put a show together.
Right.
She can't dance either.
No, you don't even know who we talking about right now. It's
I
a
know who you
rapper,
talking about.
and she's not
Yes, I
doing
do.
anything.
Woo.
So anyway,
Lord.
the level of performance has gone
I know
so
her.
far down in the regular realm, like of pop and R&B, hip hop, whatever it is, that people just like, yeah, you're just basically going to shows. And I mean, the DJ could be there just playing these songs for them.
Yeah.
That's why DJs are huge now.
That's
DJs are bigger than artists.
Wow.
On the touring circuit.
Yeah, they
Wow.
are.
Because you
Yeah,
can
they
just
get gigs.
because you can just play the song and have a better time than having the actual person
Artist
come out
there.
there and stand there looking like a stick in the mud.
Wow. Yeah.
It's
I'm
bad.
gonna have to see her.
But
this
this clip is
awful.
everywhere.
everybody know about her because
It's everywhere. And I mean,
She
they
blew
making
up.
fun of this, like, and then they put out this story that, like, her ticket sales aren't selling
well, they the ones
for the
blew
people
up.
that's live or whatever. But it's just like, you liked a song that you heard on the radio.
Right. It was catchy.
Was it
But,
catchy?
but,
Yeah, I mean,
but when you go to a
It's
show,
ignorant.
it's no longer about the song. It's about the performance
right.
of the song.
Right.
And that's what people didn't think about
Well,
before elevating certain people, and it's just unfortunate because I will say this, there are a whole bunch of people that perform great live. They just aren't on the Billboard charts.
Right.
So that's a problem with the industry itself.
Right.
Who y'all are letting in and giving the nod to and the opportunity to, because there's, and I mean in every genre, there are R&B singers that should be at the top of the charts, and
Sure
they ain't.
is.
Pop music same way, hip hop the same way.
They won't
There's
let 'em
so
out.
many like amazing hip hop bands that's got like live musicians in their rap. I mean, it's just it's outrageous how much
Won't let
talent
'em.
is out there. But that's not what gets on. Just the trash.
they won't take her on.
Money.
Yeah.
And
It's
you
a
have
quick
to be,
dollar. It's about the quick dollar.
And you have to be a certain caliber of person or lack thereof
Yeah.
to be down for selling out your
Well-
people and putting out garbage.
yeah, I mean it
Well, the
helps when you
powers
don't
that be are.
when you don't have talent,
Right, but
though,
if
you're not really,
Right.
it doesn't affect you in the same way because it's not like you're denying yourself the opportunity to put out good music. You can't.
Right.
You're not
Yeah.
even supposed to be doing it.
This girl came from the.
So, I mean,
Yeah.
she
the
just
background.
making
Come
her
on.
money.
she don't
just
know. She don't
taking
even
her opportunity.
realize what she doing. I don't believe.
But it's gonna
This
be
her
somebody
reality.
else in another month. Like
Right.
it don't even matter who it is
Right.
right now.
Right.
How
Yeah.
many little this and little that's have we going through
It'll-
in
it'll
the
be
last
enough.
year?
Countless.
In just 1 year, 2024 ain't even over, and there's little this and little that.
And if y'all saying they doing her like this, they gonna throw her time is limited.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
hope she got
It's
some
Because
money.
it's like
It's
it just
over,
goes
probably.
like this.
Evolving,
It just
yeah.
keeps going, y'all.
Yeah.
But anyway, we're off the topic. Anyway, those are our recommendations for the week, and it's a lot to be upset about out here, y'all, between the politics and our community, the black community, all the things that we need to be
It's
working
a
on.
lot.
We're constantly distracted by things that don't matter. We're distracted by Trump. We're distracted by Biden. That's a distraction. We're distracted by non-talented musicians.
Right.
We're just getting distracted left and right by all these things that don't matter, while our whole society is breaking down.
Yeah.
And
It really is.
I really, really am going to have to, do my part more in getting some better information out there and pushing forward and not giving up and just being, being the change I want to see. That
Right.
kind of idea, and just taking it one step at a time. And I think if the viewers, if you do the same, don't think that you have to change the world. You just need to change something. You need
right.
to just work towards change. And try to uplift the people around you to do the same. That's all we can do.
Everybody
And
do
if
their
we all
piece.
do it,
Yeah.
then it will cultivate something larger.
Right.
So
We're-
don't think you got to figure out, you don't have
Can't
to
fix
have
it
all the
all.
answers. But if you got one answer, if you know that you can give a little bit of your time as a mentor to somebody, or if you know that you know about the law and maybe you could share something with somebody about that, whatever it is, do your part.
Do
That's
your
that's
part.
what I'm asking black people to do. Whatever your gift is, do your
Yeah.
part.
That's right.
If you are a man, black man, and you know how to fix cars, show some young men how to fix cars.
Right.
That's you doing your part, because now they have a skill that they can get a job
Yeah.
in the future in.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? And then maybe they won't end up in a gang,
Right.
because now they don't have to go to work at McDonald's. They can get a job as a mechanic. So these are the things that you need to think about. What can you do in your own life to help your people?
We gotta do it.
And that's just it. That needs to be the goal of all of us if we want to survive what is coming.
Yeah.
Each one reach one.
That's right.
That's it. I do have an affirmation.
Go ahead.
Go. I won't allow racism to distract me from my greatness.
There it is.
How apropos after this.
Yeah.
I had already had that ready.
Well, there you go.
Perfect.
The Lord guides us.
Yeah.
So we will see you guys in our next episode. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and hit the like button. Subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. If you're listening via Spotify, we thank you for listening, and you can download this episode and tune in next time. And share the video. Ask us questions in the comments section. And if you want to ask Mama a question for our next episode, be sure to follow us on Instagram or TikTok at Ask Mama Podcast and send your questions in through a DM. Until next time, y'all, peace and love to everybody watching. Stay safe out there. We love y'all.
Yes.
Bye-bye.
Peace.
Bye-bye.